It's time to hit the skins with 106.7 The Fan's Sports Junkies.
Jordan Reed still is one of the big topics, obviously, for people. People were kind of freaking out that he went to go to Charlotte to see the doctor there. I think we talked about it yesterday. Didn't really find anything, nothing extraordinary. But when Jay was asked about it, I don't know if you have clips, he said, look, at first I was saying a couple days, but we're just going to have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm. Not really nothing earth-shattering came out of just a visit over there and checked them out, and everything looked pretty good. So it's just a matter of taking care of him and getting him the right rest. And when he's fully healthy, we'll get him going.
Right. So do you have the part where he said, I don't know when he's going to be back. I don't know if it's going to be the first game. I heard that clip. He said, I don't know when it is. Hopefully it's by the first game, but, we'll just have to see. I'm still optimistic about it. I don't think it's that big a deal. I think, as he said, we just want to be cautious, and we don't want to try them out there, and then you kind of re-aggravate it, and it causes this whole chain of events. So I'm still going to go with I'm not sweating this thing.
I'm surprised, though, he's projecting it all the way out to the first game.
Well, he said, I hope he's there for the first game. I don't know, but that's what we care about. They don't care about these preseason games. And I think it's a good sign, although, as JP mentioned yesterday, you saw this a lot with Josh Doctson last year. But, Reed has been out on the practice field. He did some kind of half-speed reps with Nate Sudfeld on the side field, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So he's out there catching balls. He's going through the motions a little bit.
Is it the big toe? What toe is it?
My understanding was it was the big toe.
Does it hurt when he runs?
It probably does.
Well, you just said he was doing stuff on the side.
Yeah, but half-speed.
Yeah, so I would assume it would hurt even if he's doing it half speed.
Yeah, so it's probably getting better. See, my guess is it's probably getting better.
They're just being
uber
cautious with it. Yeah.
And I'm sure it's nagging. Listen, I will say this: your big toe's bad and it hurts. I mean, that's you can't play. That ruins guys' careers. But hopefully it's just something minor and tweaked it, and we'll see.
Yeah. Like you said, until he misses the first game of the regular season, it's not a big deal.
And as I said last year, one thing I know about Jordan Reed, I'm not worried about him being soft or anything. If that guy, if he thinks he can go, he's going to try to go. Because they'll knock him in the outer space, and he'll try to play the next week.
Correct.
That's his track record. Even though he has missed games, the desire to be out on the football field is definitely there for Jordan Reed. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that about Josh Doctson last year. That's why I was breaking his balls. But apparently he's been surprising people. And Jay was talking about him with, was it with JP Finley? About Josh Doctson? Don't we have that, please?
I have Doctson talking about how the team's goal is Super Bowl or bust.
Ah, gotcha. Well, Jay, before we get to that, Jay talked about Doctson and talked about how, we drafted him last year in the first round because we thought he could be spectacular. You start to hear words, you start to get excited. And he has impressed people.
Quite incredible to see how far he's coming. I really don't. I think he's that far off, quite frankly, in the production.
What are you doing
Sorry,
there?
it's cutting out.
It's skipping?
Yes. I was trying to hook it on the fly.
Right. All right, why don't you play Doctson when he did his interview with JP Finley? I think it's like a 3 or 4 minute interview or whatever. Do you have that nearby, Valdez? And here's where Doctson actually has really high hopes for the team.
Is there anything you want to say to the fans about the 2017 season coming up?
Man, Super Bowl, man. Super Bowl.
Super Bowl or bust?
Bowl, yeah, Super Bowl or bust, man.
Wow. For the guy that doesn't talk, that's saying something.
Yeah. I see what we got, man, on offense and defense, man. It's coming. It's huge, huge steps, man. So we're going to be all right, man.
Well, here's my question for you. Will Terrell Pryor meet expectations or will be a bit of a dud? I'm asking you,
what are
Jason
expectations?
Bishop. I think expectations are 75-plus catches and, 8 touchdowns, 1,200 yards, like a big year. A big year.
I think he'll double. How many touchdowns did he have last year? 3 or 4?
Didn't have as many.
I think he'll double it. Yeah,
and his yardage was not maybe where you would hope.
If he stays healthy, but the quarterback's poopy.
Yeah.
If he stays healthy, yes, I think he can get 70 catches in that 11 to 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns.
That's a huge year.
Yeah. I think Crowder's going to have a big year.
I think Crowder's going to have a big year, too. I think he's a beast. Here's my expectation for Doctson.
But they're going to use Crowder even more this year.
Because the guy did nothing. If Doctson had 30 catches, that would be a good year. That's my realistic expectation for Josh Doctson. Now, that may be a disappointment because they're trying to replace 2 guys, Garcon and Djax. But I think if you expect him to have more than 30, you're kind of kidding yourself because the guy had 1. What did he have, 1 last year, 2? If 2 catches, he played
Couple.
one, like basically at one
He
game.
had that one long one where Deshaun dragged the whole defense to
I mean,
the
I don't
one
have the
side.
stats in front of me, but let's
Yeah, it
say
wasn't more than that.
let's say he had 2 catches. If you expect more than 30, if you expect like 50 or 60 from him, you're really, really, really optimistic.
Well, if he's playing every down, I would expect
I kind
50.
of do. I kind of believe that Terrell and Doctson are going to be close to what Pierre and Deshaun gave him. I don't expect them both to have 1,000-yard
I
seasons.
mean, you think he's going to have 2 catches a game?
I think there are going to be games where
I
he's
think he's
there.
gonna-
I think there's going to be games where he's not there. I think there's going to be games where he's productive. There's going to be games where he's not productive. I think it's going to be
30's not that
better
much.
than last year, but it's not going to be like
I would say minimum 40. I would expect minimum 40 if he's playing every day.
I don't expect him to
I'd
play.
say
I don't expect him to play 16 games.
Okay.
I expect him to play like 9.
All right, well, I just can't assume that. But if he's going to play every week, then he's going to have
I've
40
set the
or more
bar
catches.
low because you got to prove it. And so far, he was
Look,
able to get on the
Doctson
field
was
like
a
once or twice.
stud in college,
I
an
know.
absolute stud. He had 25 touchdowns in his junior and senior year.
Yeah.
All right, he's good.